As stated in the memo provided on October 10th, President Trump received advanced imaging at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of his routine physical examination. The full results were reviewed by attending radiologists and consultants, and all agreed that President Trump remains in exceptional physical health, which I know all of you will see with your own eyes later this evening when he opens up his dinner to the press, and perhaps you will see him when he signs the bill to reopen the federal government. So stay tuned on plans for that.
Who live in food deserts and are suffering from obesity and are locked into that system. President Trump has also instructed us to address and end the root causes of chronic disease. Who made this happen? They saw that this could be a win-win situation.
Now, MAHA is critical. America will have to get fit in order to right-size the healthcare system and sleep and dealing with issues related to that. And I want to say it as clear as I can. Secretary Kennedy mentioned New York City. It actually, the number one zip code is the Upper East Side, which is where you have property. And folks who know, but I don't measure it in pounds. I measure it in saved lives. People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. Folks whose knees don't hurt. People who don't have heart attacks, renal failure, dementia, all the things we know are associated with obesity and much more.
Now, America and indeed the world dodged a bullet, an incoherent, incompetent bullet, when Kamala Harris failed to buy her way into the presidency. Remember, she outspent the Trump campaign by an enormous margin, and despite losing in spectacular fashion, she seems to think she outsmarted President Trump. She was playing three-dimensional chess.
And I wasn't about to fall prey. Or fall into those traps. And part of his strategy and those around him was to try and take me off our game and message. And I wasn't about to be distracted by those flames that he was trying to throw to get me away from my highest priority, which was talking to people about the economy and their well-being in terms of their financial well-being. And I understood the game that was being played, and I made a decision that I wasn't going to get played. And
chess, not checkers. Got it.
Chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, three-dimensional chess, I'm telling you, you know.
She lost by a huge margin. She lost every swing state. She lost the popular vote, and she lost the Electoral College. What three-dimensional chess was she exactly playing? Joining me now is political advisor and commentator CJ Pearson. CJ, what is Kamala talking about?
I don't think Kamala knows what she's talking about in this case, right? And if she was playing three-dimensional chess, she was very bad at it, almost as bad as being a politician. So either way, she's not good at this chess thing, not good at this politics thing. Is Kamala Harris good at anything? I'm struggling to answer that question.
Says two sides battling it out. Ben Shapiro's on one side, Tucker Carlson on the other. And I want to play you a clip that has gone viral in the past 24 hours. It's Ben Shapiro. He's talking about housing and affordability. Let's have a listen first.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities.
CJ, Ben Shapiro is copying significant criticism for that. Is that unfair? There's an argument that that brand of conservatism is going to alienate young voters and voters who feel like they can't really get into the housing market, that it's the privileges their parents had is not available to them.
No, you're exactly right. And I think that type of just pessimism is not what's going to be what wins over the hearts and minds of young people and brings them over to our side. The American dream should be attainable if you are an American, right? There are people that are trying to give the American dream to folks who aren't even American citizens. And so, of course, young people in this country who are American, who want to own a home. We've seen many studies where 90% of Gen Z says they will wish to one day own a home, but fear they never will be able to. That type of doomerism is not going to be what brings them over to our side. And so I would say that I completely disagree with Ben on that. And I would ask where he would want them to move. Are we supposed to lose our best and brightest to Costa Rica or some type of third world country where maybe there will be millionaires? I don't really know what the solution to what he was proposing actually is, or what that would even look like. So.
Now, I think I would hope he was suggesting that perhaps move to more affordable parts of America as opposed to some of the big cities where affordability is such a problem. But it is interesting, isn't it, that that sort of sentiment can be seen as just lacking in compassion and young people feeling like they've done the right things, they've gone to university, they've got this massive college debt, they're trying to work, and they're not getting ahead. They're falling further behind. And I think that's something that, all sides of the political spectrum need to think about. Now, the left like to portray themselves as kind, compassionate, open-minded when they're nothing of the sort. And that's something actress Cheryl Hines has discovered firsthand. Here she is chatting with Bill Maher.
The Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning. Even from the beginning, when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
I agree.
And
it's sad because it's not the Democrats we grew up with.
Of course, actress Cheryl Hines married to RFK Jr. CJ, Bill Maher still votes Democrat. He campaigns against Republicans, but even he acknowledges that the left has changed. Just during his lifetime, there's been a fairly dramatic change.
Yeah, these may not be the Democrats they grew up with, but these are the Democrats of today. The Democrats who completely hate free speech. We saw it just yesterday at the Turning Point USA event that happened at UC Berkeley, where they threw fire bombs and sought to assault attendees of the event. And this is the so-called, political party of supposed tolerance. These people absolutely hate dissent. They hate different ideas. They hate half of America, unfortunately. Like, that is where we are right now. And I think Cheryl Hines is completely right. What I hope is that, those classical liberals, those old school Democrats realize that there is no home for them in the modern day Democrat Party. I hope that they, find themselves, looking at other options. Bill Maher is someone that, I feel like sometimes we give him a little bit too much credit because I think that he knows that reality is true, that there is no home for him in the modern Democratic Party. But still, he hasn't found his way, outside of it quite yet. But I'll hold out hope for him, and hopefully he'll make the jump one day.